Hey guys, it's Emma here. So today I'm going to be doing a Kennet and Avon review because recently we just left the Kennet and Avon to go onto the Thames, and yeah, I just thought I'd show you some tips and tricks and things you might need to know to go onto the Kennet and Avon canal. So let's go. So obviously the Kennet and Avon canal was our first canal ever. We didn't do the whole canal, so we didn't do it from like the Canehall locks up to Reading. We just did it from Devizes to Reading. But we do know the Bath and Trowbridge area of the canal because we used to live in Trowbridge and we used to visit Bath a bit. So we used to walk along the canals quite a lot. So obviously they're not like a complete and utter stranger that goes canals to me. So but I just thought I would share some tips and tricks with you to what you need to know to go onto the Kennet and Avon canal, because there are some things that you wouldn't really expect you need, but you definitely do need on the Kennet and Avon. So the most important thing you will need on the Kennet and Avon canal is a gangplank. We bought a gangplank when we went to Devizes Marina, and we just thought because it's always handy to have a gangplank to be ready. And we mostly used it most of the time, except when we were on visitor moorings, because the Kennet and Avon canal is definitely very rural and fluffy moorings, as I like to say. So just be prepared if you're going to go on the Kennet and Avon canal. Bring a gangplank, and a good one. We've got a non-slip one, and it's really good. And you can even, it comes with two little pins, so you can hook it into the ground so it doesn't fall in the water, because I've had to rescue the gangplank a few times. So just make sure you get a good gangplank for if you're going on the Kennet and Avon canal. But definitely the Kennet and Avon canal was incredibly beautiful, especially the fluffy moorings. And I will share with you my five favourite moorings on the Kennet and Avon canal. So let's go. So my top 5 favourite moorings were the 130 bridge. It's a couple of miles outside of Devizes. That was the first ever mooring we ever moored at after we left the marina, and it was beautiful. It's like in the middle of nowhere. The towpath is incredibly wide and really grassy, so it's really good for the dogs. That's actually where I did my first magnet fishing video. So I definitely recommend going there. It's very fluffy. The first time we did go there, it wasn't too fluffy. It was a bit fluffy, but it wasn't too fluffy. But the second time we visited there, it was a bit more fluffy, and probably it's a bit more fluffy now. And I said fluffy a lot of times. But just be prepared. You have to definitely use a gangplank, but it's definitely worth it going there because it's so beautiful. There are no shops. There are no shops there because it's a bit of the middle of nowhere. But it's so beautiful. I definitely recommend going there if you want just to be just like in the middle of nowhere and being away from people. Now our second favourite mooring on the Kennet and Avon was the Shady mooring. I did a little video on that because obviously this summer was so hot. So actually 1 week it was going to be even hotter, so we went to this really lovely mooring, and I call it the Shady mooring, but it's actually just after the bridge 135, and it's not incredibly good for your solas if you do have solas, but up the way a bit there is a bit more sunny spots. But we loved the Shady mooring. You do need a gangplank for it. It's not as shallow, it's not too shallow, but it's so beautiful and incredibly shady, because imagine the most hottest like summer of the year and living in a tin can. That's basically what it was like, and the Shady mooring helped it so much. I didn't even feel hot. It was like nice. It wasn't hot, but it wasn't cold. It was kind of like warm. I really like that place, and definitely go there if you just want to relax a bit. And I think there is a co-op. I think you have to walk a bit though, and we didn't really want to walk that much. So there is a co-op somewhere around there. You can look on them if you do have a canal map. You can look on there. but we never went to the co-op. But definitely go there if you're a bit hot or you just want to chill a bit in the shade. Now, our third favourite mooring was the Hungerford mooring. Hungerford was the most beautiful place. It was so beautiful. You do need a gangplank again, and the ground is a bit soft, but the canal and river trust are working on the bank a bit, so there aren't as many, but I think soon there will be loads more moorings, and I'm sure there'll be packs there, because the Hungerford bit is so beautiful. It's the Hungerford just before the church swing bridge, and that was amazing. That's even when I got my BBC interview, and we just loved it there so much. If you walk down the towpath, turn this way onto the swing bridge, then you kept going down. There was a stream, and there was like a field, and the dogs loved playing in the field. So I definitely recommend going there. And as well, there are great shops there, so you can just walk to the shops. I can't remember what shop there was. No, I can't remember. Can I? No. Okay, I can't remember the shops, but I'm sure if you have a canal map, it'll probably tell you. But definitely, I recommend going there for a few days because it is super beautiful. And if you go past the swing bridge, there, I think there are visitor moorings. They don't have rings though. I don't get that, but there are like moorings where you don't need a gangplank, but I feel like that bit just before the swing bridge is even more beautiful, so definitely go there. And let's go on to the fourth one. So my fourth favourite mooring was just before Benham Lock. I think I'm pronouncing that right, I'm not 100% sure. But that place was really nice because we actually were cruising. We cruised so long that day. We were so exhausted because we thought we'll just cruise a little bit, and we ended up cruising for like 2 to 3 hours, and that's long for us because we normally do like half a page a day. But we were so lucky to find it. You still had to pin in there, but you didn't need a gangplank, and that was like top notch for us. And there was even a river, a little stream. I didn't go in there because I had a bit of a fear that would be like killer fish, eels and leeches. There probably wasn't, but I was too scared. So I only paddled in there like once or twice, but it was definitely really beautiful there. And if you walked up, there was, I want to fuck myself in the face, there was a weir, and the weir was super beautiful. There was even if you walked up the towpath opposite the way from the weir, there is a pub. So once you walk up there, then it'll be a 10-minute walk to the pub. And we never went there because we were so tired. But definitely go there if you don't want to go on your gangplank. There's only probably about 2 or 3 moorings. We actually thought it was a private because it's like in the middle of nowhere and you don't need a gangplank. But luckily it wasn't, and definitely go there if you don't want to use your gangplank and you just want to relax. Now, our final 5th favourite mooring is the centre of Devizes, or in between the pound of the 1st and 2nd Canehill Lock. Does that make sense? It was really nice there. You had to gangplank it, and it was a bit shallow sometimes, but it was definitely worth it because it was literally, if you moored quite close to the bridge, you could literally walk straight to the petrol station and get like chocolate and ice cream and fizzy. So it was definitely really nice there, and if you picked the right spot, you could get a bit of a shady spot when the sun was in the right place, but sadly we didn't get that. But definitely it was really nice there, and it was just like amazing. And it was definitely close to shops, and it was kind of like in the centre of Devizes, so that's kind of like this, it's close to shops. So let's just get on to some other things. So now moving on to locks, the Kennet and Avon locks, some of them are very, very heavy, and also including some of the swing bridges. They're all double on the Kennet and Avon, but one of the swing bridges was so heavy that it took both of me and my mum to actually push it, and it took like 5 minutes. So just be prepared because the locks and the swing bridges can be pretty heavy. And if you're going, let me have a look. So if you're coming from Reading, be prepared because some of the locks have very heavy water flow when you open the paddles. It was actually one of them. It was like, I'll try and put them in a clip. I'll try, but it may be corrupt. But definitely be prepared for very strong water flow with some of the locks when you go up to like more Reading area. And also be prepared if when it rains more a lot. That doesn't make sense. If it rains more, be careful that in winter, especially the weirs there can be quite a lot of cross currents coming from the weirs. So just be careful with that. But luckily we managed to get there. Luckily it didn't rain that much, so we were fine with the weirs. Just be prepared in winter. So on the Kennet and Avon, you definitely have to plan your shops. We were lucky because we had to stay around in the Devizes area because we still had to get some work done on the boat. So we were actually quite fine for shops. Definitely around the Devizes area, there are quite good access to. There are quite a good access to shops in Devizes, but there are some places that are not. So Pusey wasn't bad for shops. You did have to walk a little bit, but luckily it wasn't massively bad for shops. Hungerford was definitely good for shops, especially where we were moored before the swing bridge. I seriously can't remember that shop that we were at. No, I can't remember the shop we went to. But Hungerford was definitely good. And the ultimate place that we got shops from was Newbury. Newbury was like amazing for shops because literally it was right next to the towpath. We could like bring the trolley to the boat and unpack. It was like shops. It was amazing basically. I did a video on it. I added it onto my cruising video. I'll put the link in the description. But definitely Newbury is the best spot, especially if you're more in the right place, right in front of the entrance to Tesco's. There was even a pound stretcher. It was amazing. So definitely go to Newbury if you want to shop easy. The worst place you could ever try and moor and shop and water and rubbish is Reading. Reading, there were basically no moorings for continuous cruises. There were only like private moorings, but very little of them. There was no water, no rubbish, and I was quite sad that I couldn't like go around and have a look at the shops. There was even a McDonald's. I was like, I can't go to the McDonald's. But it smelled really good there, let me just tell you. When we were going through Reading, it smelled amazing. But back onto subject, so definitely plan your routes for your shops and your water and your rubbish, because luckily our tank can last about 7 to 9 days. But if you have more people on board, especially with your rubbish and water, plan your routes for all these things so you don't end up cruising for hours and hours and hours. So also be prepared, especially in summer, that some of the moorings can be incredibly shallow. We struggled most with shallow moorings. Where we wanted more, we just heard this from the boat, and that was not a pretty face. But definitely be prepared for shallow moorings and cruising quite a lot, because it can literally, in the summer, we barely could find a mooring that wasn't crazy shallow that would scratch our blacking. But definitely in winter, I think it'd probably be easier, but we were in summer, so just be prepared for cruising and watch some YouTube videos of where people have been on the Kennet and Avon Canal, because especially in summer, because there might be some handy places where they may not be shallow. Now, coming on to the end of the video, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that helped along the way. So it's like Devizes Marina, they literally helped us so much. We stayed there for loads. We stayed there for quite a while, and they were super helpful. And I just want to say thank you to that, and I'll put thank you Devizes Marina video in the description. Also, I want to say thank you to Holland Boats, or aka Dan. Dan was incredibly helpful. He fitted our compost toilet, our solar panels, lithium batteries with it. So I want to say thank you to Holland Boats, and definitely if you want to fit your boat out, I'll put his link in the description as well. I also want to say thank you to our lock buddy Clive. Clive was so helpful. Because he knew the Hungerford area. So he helped us so much going through the locks, and his dogs were super cute. Like, they were so cute. So I want to say thank you to Clive, and just all to the lovely people that helped us along the way on the Kennet and Avon. So yeah. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and comment down below what you would like to see next. And I'll put all the links to all the people that helped us on the Kennet and Avon, and all like little bits that I mentioned in this video. And obviously the Kennet and Avon could have never been a full adventure without these lot. Teddy bear, pick up, come here, come here. Obviously Teddy bear helped a lot by sleeping, and yeah, see you later, bye.